Greetings from my car once again. I'm so excited. Today I am meeting with my good friend Danny. We are going to go for a drive in his McLaren. What time is it? 8:42. So we're meeting at 9 and I'm so excited. We're gonna get coffee and then we're gonna go for a spin. I hope you all enjoy this vlog. Be sure to give it a thumbs up and never forget to subscribe, and I will see you soon. I just got to the Starbucks where I'm meeting Danny, and I told him last night to, when he gets here, to like park off to the side or near the back and not to rev it when he like pulls in, because there's a ton of people that always sit out over there drinking coffee. And I was like, Danny, like, don't make a scene, okay? Because I'll get really anxious and nervous, you know, when people like look and stuff. Not to mention the color of his car is very noticeable, and I think I hear him. I honestly think I hear him. Yeah, he just pulled in. Okay, I spotted him. He hasn't saw me yet though. I don't want to get run over by this motorcycle.
Good morning.
Danny, good morning. Oh.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Oh my gosh, we'll come back to this after we get coffee, but so excited.
A few moments later.
Is it recording?
Yes,
okay.
It's recording. All right, so Danny and I are leaving this super, I feel like it's gonna bounce a lot. See that?
Yeah.
Got our coffee, we're good to go. We're just cruising around Thousand Oaks. I just have a permanent smile on my face, just cruising around.
We haven't gone fast yet.
We haven't even gone fast yet. So what's been the coolest thing about owning this?
I come from a lot of track racing cars and Porsche GT3s and things like that. So, you know, those are quick cars, but I think the best thing about owning this thing is that this car is even faster than those cars. So, it's just the full out blistering speed of these types of cars.
What was the main thing that drew you to exploring getting this?
I originally wanted to get another Porsche. I had an older GT3 and I thought about getting a newer GT3, but I'm not that great of a customer at the dealership, so what ended up happening is that they wanted way too much money over MSRP for a new GT3, like 30 grand over.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just not the type of person that pays over sticker for cars. So that kind of pushed me away from trying to buy it, because if you're looking at a $180,000 optioned GT3 plus 30 grand, you're in the money of buying a McLaren. So at that point, I just kind of ventured out and went towards the McLaren route.
How does it look like when you finally get to the point where you're like, I want this car? What do you do? Did you go to the dealership? How did you know like that you're ready to just drop some serious cash?
I think you're just doing a lot of research on the car, figuring out what options there are, what people are paying for them and things like that. And with McLaren, they kind of just, you know, they're not like hardcore like Porsche where they don't make a whole, you know, ton of, they make a lot more cars than Porsche does, I believe, of the GT series. McLaren is kind of newer back into the game.
Yeah.
They haven't made cars for a while. They went back into the market in 2012. And I think they're just trying to capture more car owners from Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Porsche. Kind of willing to, you know, you can negotiate on these cars from the dealerships. Yeah, I mean, it makes it feel like you're wanted to buy the car instead of, hey, you know, you're not special enough to buy a GT3 from us because club. Yeah, you haven't bought enough cars from us, so we won't sell you one at sticker.
Right.
Or like Ferrari, which they don't allow their dealerships to sell cars over sticker.
Oh wow.
But Ferrari, you know, they found ways around it by making, if you want like a Ferrari 458, like or one of their specialty cars, they'll sell it to you at sticker, but you have to buy 2 other Ferraris or 1 other Ferrari. So it's like they find their way around it of making sure that you get there. So McLaren doesn't do that. So it's kind of an awesome experience with that.
Consumes a lot of fuel. Like, what are we talking?
Like I'm at the gas station every 2 days going up.
So these cars were built to be daily drivers without sacrificing any kind of, you know, speed or performance. So
you get all the creature comforts too.
Yeah, and so you were gonna get the Ferrari, like the 2009 Ferrari, right?
Yeah, I was in the market to buy a F430 Scuderia, but it just lacked all the creature comforts of, you know, radio, sound deadening, you know, and I have another car that I drive daily, but I'm not tracking the car 100% of the time, so like having a Scuderia doesn't make any sense.
All right, take us through some of the basics on the system here. What do we got?
Yeah, so this is the Iris system here. That's like the center control for everything, for phone, your radio. You can do your Bluetooth, all that stuff. You can connect to Wi-Fi.
Navigation.
Yeah, you can have browsers. So like if you go into the apps, you can do a browser if you're connected to Wi-Fi or have internet. You got your maps, rear cameras. You can even access your user manuals just in case you need to figure out how to use something. Once you finish through those modules, you come down here and you've got the engine start stop, and you've got the settings where you can go into normal, sport, or track mode for suspension and power. And then you've got all your gear selectors and things like that. Launch control button. When you have these settings in here, if you're driving in normal mode, it like just drives in automatic. But if you want to have fun or you're on the track, then all you do is you hit the active button and it changes the settings to that. Right now we're in the active race mode with the track settings. And then you have to shift. But if you leave it off active in the normal modes, the car does all the shifting for you so that you drive around town like that. So
it's pretty big gauges.
Yeah, and then I'll push the active button again. So you can see it changes all the settings, gives you tire pressure, tire temps.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I feel like I couldn't breathe during that second. Like my lungs were compressed. That was amazing.
Funniest part is like everyone that's ever gotten in this car with me.
Yes.
And I do that and they're like, oh my God, that's so fast. And they're like, they've never been in a car that fast. This is the slowest car that McLaren sells.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the 675 LT is quicker. The 720S is even crazier than this car with like 150 more horsepower, and it weighs the same. wait. So, I've never driven those cars, but I can only imagine after driving this, how fast a 720S would be compared.
Okay, so I'm like breathing really good because I was like nervous. That's intense. Was anybody watching? Scary. Okay. We got to 110 there?
Yeah.
Jeez. It's a good Saturday. Do you go to the dealership? Do they let you test drive? Did you roll in with like a stack of like a briefcase of money and like set it down on the desk?
You know, I bought this used, so I just started finding like cars that I wanted, like, and looking at the options list, making sure it's like exactly what I wanted, and then I would just start negotiating from there. So yeah, it's kind of hard because a lot of the times these dealers, they don't want anyone coming in the door, just test driving them.
Yeah, they don't want to put the miles.
Yeah, and they want to make sure that someone that's gonna like test drive it actually wants it. So one of the dealers, I actually had to provide like proof of like, you know, capability to purchase the car.
Proof of funds.
Yeah, so once I gave them the proof of funds that I could buy this car, then one of them let me drive it. So overall, it's not that bad of an experience.
Whose YouTube channel did you go to kind of get like the deep down specs that you wanted?
You know, I always watch Doug DeMuro's.
Shout out Doug.
Yeah, he goes like super in depth with the cars. Watching the videos with Doug, like, you could see like the weird stuff about cars where like car manufacturers do things where you're like, that's kind of odd, you know?
Yeah. Whoa, that was close.
Yeah, that was.
And what are you gonna get after this?
I might go back to Porsche.